Today's lesson is slopes of lines. Find the slope. Objectives today is to find the slope of a line and to use slopes to identify parallel and perpendicular lines. The rise is the difference in the y values of 2 points on a line, and the run is the difference in the x values of 2 points on a line. The slope is of a line is the ratio of the rise to run. So if you have two sets of points, the equation would be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And that's how you would find slope. That would be m. M is what they use for slope. Now, to find parallel, to see if there are parallel lines, you would say it like this: parallel lines. They have to have the same slope, but different y-intercept. And then you have what's called perpendicular lines. And that would look like a upside down T in lines. They have opposite and reciprocal slopes. And you can have the same y-intercept if they want, or different ones, doesn't matter. It's mostly all about the slopes on perpendicular. So it says use the slope formula to determine the slope of each line. So this is AB, line AB. So you're going to find points on your line that match evenly. Well, I can see that 2, 1 is a point that matches up evenly, and 4, 5 matches up evenly. So there are my 2 points. Remember, you're doing y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This would be x1, y1, x2, y2. So you would say 5 minus 1 over 4 minus 2. And you would get 4 over 2, which equals 2. So your slope on A would be 2. CD. Again, you can choose any points you want to. I'm going to do 3, 0. And 3, 2. And you would do it. Doesn't matter which one you start with. You could do x1, y1, x2, y2. So 0 minus 2 equals 3 over 3 minus 3. 0 minus 2 is negative 2, and 3 minus 3 is 0. Now notice your zeros on the bottom. That is not proper math. So if you have a 0 on the bottom, it's called undefined. All right. Now let's try C. I could start with right here. I'm going to do 1, 3, and 5, 3. And I would do 3 minus 3 equals 5 over 1. 5 minus 1. 3 minus 3 is 0, and 5 minus 1 is 4. Now if I did the math, you would divide 4 goes into 0 0 times, and that is your slope. Remember, 0 is not on the bottom, so you can have a slope of 0. Let's look at D. I have this point right here, that's 10, 0. And I'm going to say what is similar. I'm going to say this one. We'll say it's that. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, 2. So I'm going to start with, this is x1, y1, x2, y2. Does not matter which one goes, which one's the 1 and which one's the 2, but you do it. So you're going to go 0 minus 2 is 10 minus 8. So it would be negative 2 over 2, which would be negative 1. Alright, so example 2. Tony is driving from Dallas, Texas to Atlanta, Georgia. At 3 p.m. he is 180 miles from Dallas. At 5:30 p.m. he is at 330 miles from Dallas. Write the graph the line that represents Tony's distance. So we have to make a graph this time. And so I'm going to have here and here. I'm going to make this distance here and time here. Okay, distance, it starts at 0. And at time, it's going to start at 12. So then I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In distance, I would have 0. Do it evenly. I would do it by 20s. $20, $40, $60, $80, $100, $110, $120, $130. Oh, maybe it's not enough. Let's do by 30s. Okay, I did it by 30s instead. So at 0 minutes, I'm at 0, 0. And at 3 o'clock, I have traveled 180 miles. So 3 o'clock, I've traveled 180 miles. And at 5 o'clock, I've gotten 330. And you put a dot, a line. And there is your graph. And you would slope it.
Does anyone else have this? Who else has the parking?
You would do 3 minus 5 equals 180 minus 330. So it's negative 2 over 150. Negative 150. So it would be 1 and 75. 1 over 75. It also couldn't be at 75 miles per hour. They drove fast. Okay, I want you to graph each pair of lines and then tell me if it's by using determine the slopes and see if they're perpendicular or parallel or neither. So first graph them. Okay, so I have on the red one, that would be my A and B. I found my points and I put my line in, and then I found out what the slope is, and that's -4. And then I did C and D, and I drew out my lines, and my slope is 4. Now, to be parallel, they have to have the same slope, and -4 and 4 means no, they do not have the same slope. To be perpendicular, you need the same opposite slopes, which they are, but one has to be the reciprocal of another, and they aren't, so it's neither. So now why don't you do B for me and graph them. So if I graph them and then I checked ST, the slope is -3/7, and UV is 2 as their slope, and they're don't have the same slope, so they're not parallel. They don't have opposites and reciprocals, so it's not perpendicular, so it's neither. Alright, let's go to the next section. Oh, goodbye.